And we're live.
Hi there.
I got for the drink tonight fresh mint.
Oh, I actually did buy mint because my mint is looking a little sad right now.
I
But
got
I
a
thought,
whole tray of fresh mint here.
I thought I had killed my mint, and apparently I haven't killed it. It's growing back. And, but what I thought I was going to make, I'm like, I'm going to need mint, and then none of my stuff has mint, but I think I can add it to one, which will make it just that much better. So that's my thought.
Cool.
There we go. I needed to be able to see.
You
Uh,
think that would help, don't you think? So
yeah, sometimes I'm a little slow and I forget why can't I see and I need my glasses. So
no.
have
Well,
you
tonight's show, everybody. Tonight we're actually going to tackle the subject
yes.
of dry January.
Yeah, so it's a dry January and there is a whole history behind dry January in case y'all didn't know. So dry January has been around for some time and it's been around longer than most of us think that it's been around. But it's suggested every month, or excuse me, every year, that the month of January be considered a dry January because of public health concerns, across America and European countries. So people are encouraged to stop drinking any alcohol for a month, and this is supposed to help us revisit how difficult is it for us to really control our drinking. And so this is supposed to help us like readjust and say, hey, look, we can enjoy life without a whole lot of drinking. So a lot of people around the world decided to do observe January for health reasons. Now, this particular week is National Mocktail Week. And this is to celebrate, it's always celebrated the second week of January. And this is observed this week from the 8th through the 14th, that we try a variety of different flavors of mocktails, which is a cocktail without the alcohol in it. And it's also not just to try that, but also to celebrate the people that enjoy non-alcoholic drinks or those that have chosen not to for whatever reason.
That's great, yeah.
So some it's for health reasons, others is because it's either get sober or their life is gonna be a mess or continue to be a mess. But this started back in the 1940s. Actually, the whole concept of dry January. Only back then it was called sober January, and it was the Finnish government, the one that was utilizing that as a war effort of all things. But it's not aimed to get people to completely stop drinking or abstain from alcohol. It is just to help those individuals that are starting to get out of control to control their drinking again. And a lot of times after a month of abstaining from alcohol, it does actually get better. And some actually choose to not drink at all. Actually, 1942 was when Sober January was first introduced. Then it wasn't until 2010 that Dry January gained popularity because, of course, it was out in an article in Seattle that one of the reporters had talked about Sober January, but he called it Dry January, and people seemed to like it. So that's when it started to gain popularity. And then it wasn't until 2014 that Dry January was actually trademarked in the UK. So Dry January is trademarked. And then in 2015, that's when it became a health program in England, and they started to promote it in 2015. So when back in 2014, 17,000 individuals from Britain participated in it. And for February, the Czech Republic and Canada actually also have a dry February instead of a dry January.
Because they want to be different.
They want to be different, of course, because, well, you figure, I guess they're thinking, one, if you're celebrating New Year's to New Year's Day, you're probably already going to be drinking. So January is just the first is already shot. So I think that's partly why they moved it to February.
Oh.
but there are more people in the US that when they did a survey, it went up by 13% of the people that participated in Dry January in 2021 versus previous years. So that's actually pretty cool. And Switzerland, that's when they launched their Dry January. So that's the newest organization that came, was in Switzerland. So that's kind of the history behind Dry January. So,
So that means what we're going to do tonight is, I have this wonderful uncracked bottle of vodka that I'm going to leave the seal on it tonight. See, the seal is still on it.
go. Well, one thing that I bought 3 years ago.
But my moonshine isn't sealed.
So one of my friends that he at last admitted that he was an alcoholic, and people had told him, and this boy was always drinking, and it was a constant. And in 2020, he actually stopped drinking and went to AA to help him through it, and he's been doing very well, and he was very proud of staying sober. But he was the one that introduced me to non-alcoholic beer, although I knew about it 20 years ago. There was some beer that somebody I dated would drink because he didn't drink either. So I would have my glass of wine and he would pour his non-alcoholic beer into a nice glass of wine. But more recently, what I had gotten some time ago, 2 years ago probably, Monday, 0 alcohol gin.
Yep.
And also Monday, 0 alcohol whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not a huge gin drinker. So for me, this was actually not too bad because it wasn't very junipery. The whiskey left a lot to be desired. But I thought, you know what? This would make actually a good mixer because a lot of times you don't need all the flavors of a whiskey in your drink. You just need enough to enhance it. So I thought, I actually hadn't played with these. And today I thought, you know what? With some of the mocktails, you can make it without any alcohol. But if you did want that little bit of a flavor, this I thought would be a great way to do a gimlet. I'm like, a gimlet normally has gin. Try it with the Monday non-alcoholic gin.
So yeah, I actually looked up the recipe I looked up tonight that I wanted to do was, of course, I was going to try a mule without the vodka into it. And it did call for you could find a non-alcoholic vodka, but I just didn't want to. To me, I actually wanted to enjoy the drink because how many times we've said on this show, this would be a good drink if we didn't put alcohol into it even.
Yeah. And
I think that, the mules have always been that way. I've always loved the mules ever since Marcus Slayton introduced me to them. They've been my favorite. So
and the thing is that there have been a lot of times that we've made a drink that we say, make your drink separate from the alcohol. That way the kiddos can have it, and it's delicious by itself. We have done that over this last year, if y'all have been paying attention. So today today it seemed harder than the times when we're not thinking about it and we're just sharing, hey, you can do this, and then just add the alcohol as you're serving it.
I actually, so I got everything to make my mule that I normally would, minus the vodka. Okay. I got some fresh mint, some fresh. I got some fresh limes cut.
Okay.
All right, and guess what? I got.
Oh, muddler! Yay!
I got me a muddler, baby. But then we were talking about what foods we were going to do today, and I'm like, oh man. And I started to think, when I think I need to get healthy, the one food that I know you said you want a salad, and salad's one of the things that I go do when I want to clean up, like I want to do a cleanse. Okay. There's 2 things I do. It's a salad or sushi.
Okay.
All right. And usually, if you ever have sushi, like I'll eat sushi, it'll fill me up.
Oh yeah.
Like I'll be empty in like 2 hours because it really is a cleansing meal, right?
I love sushi, and yes, I can eat it every day. And I almost got that for today, but I thought most individuals are going to think salad, so that's why I got this Asian style. It's got the edamame, it's got the almonds, the chicken, the little crispies, and cabbage with an Asian dressing, a sesame ginger miso dressing. I forgot my muddler too. Let me grab that. So bear with me one moment as I don't know why I didn't grab my muddler earlier. because I'm also going to need a muddler. And it's for me, it's the cucumber. So one of the things that I did put on a pretty plate were the things I was going to need: cucumber, apples, and honey um, on my plate today.
I did get some cucumber to put in too. So
I'm gonna. And the other thing that you can really super easy, Martinelli's.
oh yeah, your
Yeah.
sparkly sliders. Yes.
So what you do is you put it into a nice fruit, and if you put it in a pretty glass, it just tastes that much better. I was this was pre-COVID actually. I was helping at a fundraiser, and so I'm volunteering. I'm running back and forth, and I go up and I asked for the soda water with lime juice in it, but I wanted it in a pretty glass. And so they gave me this really nice glass, and they'd see me coming and they were ready to pour me some more of the sparkling water with the lime juice. And it felt nice because you still had a really nice glass. It wasn't a plastic cup or anything. It was a beautiful glass that I could still run around, do my thing while still, being hydrated. And I didn't want flat water. I wanted the bubbles in there. It's just something about it. And with a little bit of lime juice in there, it just elevated it. So there are ways with my niece Brittany, who's now 30 something. When she was little, she would get Martinelli's in a pretty glass, and she enjoyed it. So I'm gonna try to get a picture here with the Monday, my salad, so that way, and the so let me
She
get
got a salad. So while you're doing that, I'll share, guys. Later, this is all I got. Like I got my mint, but I made up a small dish of just sushi. I got a small roll.
Oh, nice.
I got some sashimi here.
Yeah.
Some sushi with the shrimp onto it. Some shrimp cocktail.
Ooh.
And then, of course, I found a few of the chicken pot stickers.
Okay.
So, and then I made just a typical, everything that you would have in a Moscow Mule, minus the vodka. And I did, for everything here, I do have some dipping sauces today, and I have cucumbers as well. So I got dipping sauces made for everything.
Yeah, you got to make it fun. Well, mine was the cucumber gimlet was the one that I wanted to try because even though the recipe doesn't call for gin, I thought, well, I can still add the gin. So with this one, being that it's cucumber, it's muddling the cucumber. Ooh, it's got stuck. Oh, there you go. So you just muddle the cucumber, and you can actually add mint in here. I think it would give it great flavor, but you muddle the mint with the lime juice, or with lime. If you have limes, you can.
I actually did it with lime, but then poured lime juice over.
And that was one thing I was thinking of doing that I didn't do was getting some fresh lime. I did have some fresh lemon because I was looking at the bee's knees, which is another one that's gin also. So this one, it calls for a club soda, muddled cucumber, and lime juice, and simple syrup. So right now I'm just muddling here before I add my simple syrup and a little bit more lime juice in here because it does need it. And you can combine everything, and then I'm gonna not shake the club soda in here, is my opinion. But I'm gonna add a little bit more lime juice and the simple syrup because I know I didn't put enough.
So then I actually have the ginger beer here, and excuse me. While reading on the Virgin Moscow Mule page, which I actually looked at it on mindfulmocktail.com.
Okay.
Give a shout out to them. All right. They actually had one of the questionnaires on there. Is ginger beer have alcohol in it?
Okay, yeah.
Ginger beer does not have alcohol in it.
Correct.
So
that's why you can find it with the other sodas.
Yes.
The way that this one I got it from Town and Country, is that they put it over those little the little balls of ice. I usually don't care for that because, in my opinion, it just waters down my drink. So anytime I have any kind of anything to drink. I always don't want it to be.
Okay. You know what the secret is to do with ice, don't you? A friend of mine taught me this.
What, to make clear ice or how to?
To get your ice so that it doesn't melt into your drink.
Oh, what do you do?
Slows down the melting into your drink.
How do you do that besides getting a big cube?
You take your ice, all right, you pour it into your put your ice into your glass, then you rinse it with water and drain the water out.
Oh, okay.
And that keeps your ice longer. A
Interesting.
friend of mine who was a bartender told me that one day, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. And sure enough, they were right. So
And
that's why I do this with my water every week. My water ice.
okay.
I run the water over it so that it stays longer.
See, and here you garnish it. That's the other thing, is garnishing your drinks.
See, I just have this, and I have I have the sprig of mint that went through my other. Oh.
So this is one that I had to get a picture of because, oh my goodness, this is so refreshing.
But
this is absolutely refreshing.
Isn't it great to have a refreshing drink?
Oh my goodness, that is yummy. And look how beautiful it looks.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah, I love your cucumber there.
All I did was use the peeler. So I took the first layer off, and then I did the next one, and I did two different ones. So this is 2 slices. But my goodness, that is yummy. I like that. Very refreshing, very very summery. I like this. So now I'm going to have it with some of my salad.
Which, you brought up a good thing there, summery. You notice some of the summery foods we have are usually lighter foods.
Yes.
You know, wintertime, you know what I mean? I cooked once over the last couple of weeks some venison chili.
Okay.
You know, a chili, that's a heavy food, but it's also a warming food.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I wouldn't want to eat chili in the summertime. It's too warming.
Mm-hmm.
Summertime, I would love, you know what I mean? I love salads. This past Friday night was Russian Christmas Eve for us because we're, Russian heritage. So we have Russian Christmas Eve, and my mom makes this, what she called, I think it was like 2-cup salad that my grandmother used to make.
Okay.
2 cups of everything except the walnuts are only 1 cup.
Okay.
Jello, 2 cups of Jello, 2 cups of marshmallow, 2 cups of, I think she had mandarin oranges into it. And it's called 2-cup salad. All right. Very refreshing.
Kind of like
Huh?
Kind of like a fruit salad with marshmallows in there. Is that
Almost like an ambrosia.
okay?
All right.
I almost said ambrosia, but I didn't know if it had any anything that was the gooey stuff. Actually, is it a cream, a heavy whipping cream?
Yeah, it didn't have the whipped cream into it, though.
So, does your mocktail taste like your regular cocktail?
Mm-hmm. It really doesn't taste much different than I would if I had vodka into it. Because this size drink, as you see where my cloud line is,
right?
On this much drink, you're only usually having a 1 ounce or 1.5 ounces of vodka out of that. So it's not much in affecting the taste. I'm sure it would give it a little different in the taste if I had a little bit of vodka in it.
The thing is, if you have a good ginger beer, I love my ginger beer. Cock and bull. This one, I could just drink it just like that. Although I prefer to have it in a glass. That way I don't get so much fizz going up my nose. But definitely ginger beer is one thing that will taste really good without any alcohol in it. The other thing that you can also put into a martini or a martini glass is cranberry juice. Cranberry juice with lime juice. You put
Mhm.
those in a martini glass. Oh my goodness. It makes you feel like you have a cocktail. It's
Yeah.
delicious. Oh my goodness, this is really good. I like this. This is a good choice. And it goes very well with the ginger dressing.
So yeah, everything I have on the plate goes very well with it. Of course, they're all finger foods that you'd have at a party.
Right.
You know.
And that's the thing, people. If you feel like, oh, I need a cocktail at a cocktail party, ask for a pretty glass with some sparkling water, some cucumber, um, cherry, lime, lemon juice, anything like that.
Hmm.
You're going to feel like you're having a cocktail without actually having a cocktail. Or sparkling water with lime juice in it, lemon juice, not just the wedge, but actually have them put it in there. And that just will give you a slight different flavor. I haven't had
So,
that salad in a while.
so speaking of healthy things, what are you going to do that healthy this year? Anything different?
Well, I've gotten much better at maintaining my running routine.
Hmm.
Times a week during the week, running between 3 to 6 miles, and then on the weekend I'm running between 7 to 15 miles. Is the goal right now? I've only hit about 13 and a half miles on the weekend, and I've
Okay.
been doing as low as 3 miles up to 6 miles during the week, twice a week. When I was really in my running routine, I was running 4 to 5 times a week. But what I really need to add to my schedule is keep my running 3 days a week. That's fine, but I need to add 1 to 2 days of something else. So one day of strength training, and then another day of like a yoga or Pilates, something that's going to help with flexibility.
Hmm.
So I really want to add that in, even if it's on the same day that I run. I still need to add those additional pieces to my routine. So that's something that is definitely I've been looking at it. I'm like, okay, I got to get this done. And then the other thing is that it's healthy for me, and I have been struggling with it. And even when I keep track, I still don't do well. Is drinking more water. I have these hydration packs that are IV. They're called IV. Yeah, hydration IV or something like that. And they actually I almost bought, but I got sidetracked, forgot, and hopefully they still have it. They had a couple of mocktails on there that you can just add that to your water, and it'll taste like a pina colada, or it'll taste like a Cosmo. I think it was the other one. And so I have to go back to see if they still have it because I definitely want to get those mocktails. But definitely the flavors are good. But man, that stuff's expensive, and they've upped the price on it again. And I'm like, oh, you've got to stop. Um, but that's good hydration for every one glass. It's as though you're drinking 3 glasses. Just the way it helps multiply the hydration.
I see.
And what are you doing, or what are you going to do?
You know, I live in this neighborhood that I really should take my bike out and ride it around more. But we've got to get into walking.
Okay.
Before the pandemic, my mom and I used to go once a day. We used to go to the mall and walk around the mall.
Yeah.
And with the pandemic, that went out. We never put it back in because we didn't have a place to go do it. And your mall was a safe place to do it because it was indoors. You had decent climate to do it year round. You know,
That is so true. Because where you're at, when I was there in August, I went out on a run, and I was dying. Oh my goodness! I was like, the heat, not only the heat, but the humidity. I actually stopped at I stopped somewhere and I was able to get water because I was like, oh my goodness, this is bad. I mean, I had never had that kind of issues because I'm always cold. So anything warm, I'm happy. But that was I was exasperated. I'm like, okay. And at one point, I'm like, okay, I'm going back. So the next time that I went for the run, a couple of days later, I went earlier because I'm like, yeah, going at that time was just way too hot already.
Well, yeah, that is a Texas problem we have in August. You don't want to go running in August. However, last couple of days here has been nice. We've had, 50s, 60s type weather. Which is kind of gorgeous for a walk or a run. So, most of my working out has been outdoors doing something, tearing a tree out or
trying to pull out a fence.
Yeah, pulling a fence down, things like that. So,
yeah, I went out on a half marathon run on Saturday, and it was 43 degrees when I started and 46 when I ended.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, this is so good. I could have another one. But there's a Shirley Ginger. That's a Shirley Temple, but it's got ginger beer. And I would really like to make that.
I must have went by that Shirley Temple on 3 different websites looking this stuff up for this week.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, everybody has a Shirley Temple.
But this is a Shirley Ginger because it's got ginger beer and I like ginger beer. Mm-hmm. So it's ginger beer, club soda, lime juice, and grenadine. My thought is I don't have any grenadine, so I'll just throw some cherry juice in it, kind of play with it. But
okay. Check out our comments. Yes, Cindy, we know. We mentioned that at the first part of the show.
Mm-hmm. We were actually on it for once.
For once, Cindy, we were on it.
That's why we're doing it this week, Shirley. Oh my goodness, Cindy. But
that girl is trying to keep us on calendar the best she can.
So the other one I want to try is making a magic apple with the whiskey. And it calls for either apple cider or apple juice. I thought, you know what? I'm going to go with sparkling cider because I had this. So I thought, you know what? This is going to give it a little bit of a fizz. It's going to give it a little something. Different.
After the first of the year, one thing we do in our house always is we go through the refrigerator and clean things out. Okay. And one of the things we cleaned out was I had a bottle in there of apple cider.
Oh.
All right. From us doing cider drinks back in October.
Okay. Goodness. So I'm going to start my new glass. And finish pouring that out.
So, but over the years, though, the one mule that I was always a fan of that I don't do that often was a grapefruit mule. And that was grapefruit juice. And I know you're not a fan of grapefruit juice, but grapefruit juice with the mint. And then you put the ginger beer to it. It was a really good sparkling drink. All right. And you know what I mean? And then you could do it with the vodka, or I've also done that with the mule and then switched it to do the Kentucky side with the moonshine. Okay. But I've never done it with like a gin to try it that way.
So this one does call for bitters. So I don't have my bitters around here. Oh, that was the other thing. Under my gimlet, I was going to do the lime coriander bitters what I was going to add to it because I had it because I thought it would go very well. Just with the cucumber and the coriander, the lime juice, I thought that would go well. But I missed it. So next go around. But 2 dashes of bitters into this magic apple. And it also calls for the apple cider. I'm not going to shake it in here because of the carbonation. It's going to explode on me.
No, I didn't. I never shake a mule. I stir. That's why I got my stir spoon for that.
Well, this is an apple, a magic apple. This is a magic apple. I'm not.
With the cider, sparkling cider, I probably still would have stirred.
Oh, I haven't put it in.
Oh,
I have not put it in. And then the other thing you can do is still use your big ice cubes, still decorate it. You could still put like a sugar rim on this one if you like. There's so many things. You can even get like the apple cider, the one that are in little packets. You can even put that on the rim. So there's a lot of different things you can do with mocktails to really make them shine.
no, that's something I do on a regular basis is a hot apple cider, but I have a hot apple cider mix that I make it. And I drink them a lot through the winter times, the winter months, because it's a warm drink to have in the afternoon. If it's cold, all right, then it is one of those drinks that you can actually drink by itself or add a little bit of bourbon to it.
There you
go.
So here you go.
That's the apple.
The magic apple.
Okay, that looks like just a glass of ginger ale with an apple slice on it. You know that. Which I assume that you use the whiskey, which doesn't have a lot of color to it, does it?
Right. It does, but it's not as. It does have some. Let me see if I can get you to see the color over here.
Yeah. It looks on this side. It looks like more of a burgundy brown.
Got to get a picture of this one.
Yeah.
We'll see how that tastes. Magic apple.
No.
I like the other one better. This is okay. I can taste the whiskey in there though. It's the flavor of the whiskey.
Yeah. So it's non-alcoholic whiskey. The flavor has still got the the charred oak barrel flavor.
It's a little bit on the sweeter side. I think I want to get a picture this way. I haven't drank this in 2 years, so I'm trying to get myself and you in the picture, but I'm not doing a very good job. Okay, there you go. It's actually okay. It's not bad. Maybe a little bit more. It's missing something in here. I haven't quite figured it out. Maybe some cherry juice. That'll give it a little something.
Mm-hmm. Cherry juice makes a lot of your non-alcoholic drinks really good. Think about that.
Yeah, cherry juice. There's a lot of now you can find cherry juice everywhere, whereas before it was harder to find. But yes, there's a certain flavor of cherry juice that's just very yummy. Okay, I kind of like that a little bit more.
I'm betting you could add. Wait a minute. I'm betting you could add some cinnamon to it, and it would give the fireball effect.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah. A little bit of cinnamon in there.
Yeah.
I think what I would do for this one is that I would do the apple cider with cinnamon, boil that so that the cinnamon really gets into the apple cider.
Mm-hmm.
Then let it cool. And then I'll add the bitters and the whiskey once it's being served. Mm-hmm. I think that would give it that little bit of a kick in there. I think I would like that. So we're going to be posting some videos on the website that will give you some cocktails or some mocktails, if you would. That one was from, oh my goodness, I'm trying to remember the website, but one of them I was like blown away by. So it was a martini. It was a guava martini.
Yeah, so, I've seen that one. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, not only, okay, so they make this just gorgeous. They put salt and chili on the rim of the martini glass. So they put the lime and then they put it in there and it looks pretty. Then they do the guava and with I think lime juice in there, and they pour it into the martini glass, and it looks gorgeous. But then on top of that, the guy gets the a burner, so it's burning, and he is sprinkling the chili flakes going through. So they are getting a little bit of fire as they're landing on this mocktail.
Oh, wow.
The mocktail looks gorgeous, but then the flavors that it's going to have a little bit of the heat from the rim, plus the heat and smokiness from the chili that landed on the drink that had been burned as it was being served. I mean, that is one that I'm like, I don't think I want to try that one live because I might burn something. But it is definitely something I do want to try.
That's where you set the camera up and you try it at the home kitchen.
Yes.
All right. So so last week, after we finished our show, we went to meet my youngest son's in-laws for dinner at the Korean barbecue. Mm-hmm. You got my pictures from the Korean barbecue because we were cooking stuff. And of course, I'm like half full because we did our show.
Okay.
So not getting not eating as much while we're down there, but still I had a good old time down there. It's been a while since I've done that. The Korean barbecue, where basically you're sitting at a table and you just get pieces of meat and just put it on the grill and barbecue it right there at the table.
My friend Angela, and she lives a suburb of LA, and whenever I visit her, we always go Korean barbecue. Mm-hmm. And this place, it's like smoking.
Yes.
You come out of there, you smell like Korean barbecue.
Yeah. The other thing is watch what shoes you wear there, because the floors are slippery. You got to be careful on your floors. All right. We used to have them here. They were, oh gosh, what are they called here now? I forget what they were called. What barbecue they were called. It wasn't Korean. Mongolian barbecue. Where basically you put all the stuff in a bowl and they put it on a grill and cook it for you. You know, you pick your oil, you pick your seasoning. We had two of them like in the early 2000s here that I loved. The original one they had, I loved. Yeah. The one that made it and stuck around was the worst of the two. They were just better marketed, and even they've changed their recipe and changed their way they do it so many times. It's not as fun anymore.
There used to be one at the mall that I used to go to way back when, but it was great. And there used to be one here in Wilsonville, and they got rid of that whole section. But yeah, you picked your food and then you got to the end and they cooked it for you. Now it's where that whole area was. Now it's a bar. They turned it into a bar.
Yeah. So
they made a lot of changes to that Canton Phoenix here in Wilsonville.
Yeah. So, I mean, and the other thing is, though, for healthy food is salads. I mean, how often have you gone to like salad bar places? There's not a lot of open salad bar type places anymore because different things. But like we have a place called Snappy Salads in Salada here, where you go there and they, you know what I mean? You kind of can mix your own salad. All right. That I thought was really good. It's almost like going Chipotle. All right. You walk through and you say, this is what I want in my bowl. You know, and they put it in there, you know. But salad places doing that, I used to love going to them. And I could eat that was a full meal for me, getting a salad from some of those places. Of course, I like the extra dressing on it, but that's me.
We used to have sweet tomatoes out here. They closed them. Went to a couple of different ones, and it was an all-you-can-eat salad place. Soups and salads, but mainly salads. And so you got to try a little bit of everything. But yeah, the main one, you're building your own salad. That's before you even go up to pay. You have built your salad. You go up, you pay, then you sit, then you can go around again, or you can go to the other stations. But if you have a really good salad, I mean, I learned how to make a really good salad with all the fixings on there. Oh yeah, even without a protein, you can make definitely a meal out of it, and it's very healthy because you can get your proteins in there, and there's various ways to get proteins, people, without having a cow or a chicken, on your plate.
Well, I mean, when you think about those concepts, all right, because of the, the cost of food and the cost of goods to do them, the places that survived doing them are like the really greasy spoons that do them. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, the really good places, you can't keep that good quality of food in there in an
Mhm.
all-you-can-eat environment because they
Mhm.
can't afford it. It's too expensive.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, you get it. The restaurant doesn't make money; it doesn't stay in business. And food and the margins on food is not that much.
Right.
Yeah.
And right now things are that much more expensive
Mhm.
that it's even harder. But when you're going out, it is okay to ask them to substitute.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you don't have to have French fries. I mean, when I go to Red Robin, it's all you can eat fries. But if you get a salad, it's also all you can eat salad or all you can eat
Oh,
broccoli.
really? I didn't know they did that at Red Robin. Yeah.
Mhm.
See,
And
like I like that's no, that is one of the things I loved going to. What was the Italian place that did that? That you know what I mean? Olive Garden, unlimited salad. I love their salads. You know.
oh, yeah, yeah, delicious, and their soup. So all you can eat soup and breadsticks or salad and breadsticks. Their breadsticks are so good. Um, but yeah, just at Red Robin, I would get my burger and then I would just skip the fries and just get a salad,
Hmm.
or I would get broccoli just because that's what I was in what I felt like having. And yeah, sometimes I do have fries. It's not like I don't. I love fries. I really do. But they also do where they will wrap your hamburger in lettuce wrap instead of.
Oh yeah.
And guess what? In and Out will do that. It's called protein style. They will wrap it in lettuce. So if you are an In and Out fan, just ask for it. Animals, double double animal style, protein style,
Hmm.
and they will do that. And I've done that before, and I love it. But just substitute a few things. It's not all the time, but if you do that enough, all those little trickles of finding something healthy is going to be good for us.
Yeah.
It's going to end up. It's not like we have to do it. Oh, I'm going to do this for 1 month. No, and not eat anything. No, enjoy your food. You got to enjoy what you're eating and
Yeah.
drinking, moderation, and finding out what are the things that trigger your body. What is it that you might eat that will stick to your midsection? So that's just a few things here and there, or cutting out some of the if we're doing whole milk, like if we're going to get a coffee,
Yeah.
doing skim or doing some other alternative for the milk.
You mean like I doing half and half or whipped cream?
Uh-huh. There you go.
But that's all I have is espresso with whipped cream. That's all I have for a drink. Um, but no, I mean, I went through periods of my life. I don't know if you've ever done this, where I went through 2 years one time where I didn't drink for 2 years, no alcohol, period, 2 years, and I just was like, I'm taking a break.
Yeah.
You know, our mentor, the guy who introduced you and me, Craig. I mean, he went years without drinking. You know, just didn't have that in his life. And that's okay if you have a time where you take certain things out of your life. If you want to be a vegan for a year, be a vegan for a year. You want to be a vegan for 6 months, do it. You know what I mean? This is what keeps you healthy is when you go, you know what? Let me try this.
Yeah.
All right, and see if this would help my diet better. And in some cases, like I've gone not necessarily vegan, but vegetarian
I've
for
done
like
that.
for like 30 days. And man, it flushed my system out, something fierce. All right, because I'm a big red meat eater. All right, and that just gets a lot of that stuff out of your system. You need to flush every now and then, and that's what I liked about this idea of dry January. It's an idea to promote, you know what I mean? Every now and then, fast on some area in your life.
Yep. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I do the vegetarian things, or sometimes the entire week it's all vegetarian, and then I go back and I'll mix it up, and then I've never done it for like a whole month straight. I have done it for a week straight,
Yeah.
Purposely because this sounds good and this sounds good and this sounds good, and it just so happens that week when I planned out my meals, there was no actual meat protein in there.
Yeah.
And that's okay, and I don't mind because I do love all sorts of foods.
Yeah.
But just try it out, try something different, see how you like it. But always do good seasonings if you're going to do that, and if you don't like it, then that doesn't mean you have to do it again next time.
No, you just try it, all right? And the idea behind it is try it, because that trying different things is what will help you understand taste, all right? First of all, that's one of the reasons why I love tasting things now, is because I learned to break things up and every now and then take something away and go, ooh, I missed that. And then I get it. And I'm like, oh, that's so good. Again, it's just the way it is. It's how I learned to like drinks. It's why I learned to like, I really haven't drank much wine since you and I done wine on the show last.
Right.
Just not in my repertoire of drinking that much. I bet you I've only had in the past 6 months, maybe a half dozen beers.
Okay.
That's it, right? But I'll drink a whiskey.
There you go.
Yeah. So anyway, this has been a fun show this week. All right. Just the idea of mocktails. All right. Being able to, put your own health consciousness into what you're doing and putting in your body. All right. If, if there's something you want to take a break from it. And that's by all means, you got to define what is healthy for you.
Yeah. You gotta do it for your health. You gotta do it. If you're not taking care of yourself,
Yeah.
you can take care of others if you're not taking care of you.
Yeah. You won't be here next year to celebrate next year with us.
Yeah.
If you don't take care of your health.
So take care of you. What mocktail ideas you have. But we will be sharing some of these videos because some of them, it's all about how you're presenting it a lot of times. One of my friends, I remember, she's pregnant and she was visiting me and my nephew was making the cocktails. And I told him she's pregnant. She cannot have alcoholic drink. So I said, do what you're doing, but just don't put the alcohol in it.
Yeah.
And there's this stuff called chamoy, which is used in a lot of Mexican fruits and such. And so that's what he put in, decorated the edge, did all the things. And she was like, oh my goodness. She goes, is there alcohol in this? And I was like, no, there isn't. Because of all the flavors, and it tasted to her as though there was.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
That's a way to learn your flavors. All right. Because I'll tell you, like we found last week, tasting 2 different vodkas. You know what I mean? There's a taste in 2 different vodkas. All right. Same recipe, but it tastes different based on where it's made. Right. And that is what when you can learn to taste things, when you can learn to bring your taste buds alive again, that's what's fun. So that's why I love this show. So.
Yeah, it's fun. We're always trying new things. And sometimes when we try old things, but we do it slightly different or we combine it in a different manner. And we had not done gin, and I didn't think that when we did gin, it would be a non-alcoholic gin. But it's, yeah.
All right. So what are we doing next week, by the way?
Well, we were debating if we were going to do 2 weeks straight of dry January or if we were going to switch it up. So it was, that ability to switch things up. So you want to...
I guess we're going to have to surprise the audience as to what we're going to do.
There you go. I added a little bit of the coriander, the lime coriander bitters. It actually gave it a little bit of a kick. It's not too bad. Not too bad. This would also be good with ginger beer. Oh my goodness, there's so much that y'all can do with this stuff. Enjoy the experimentation, making it look really pretty. That's what it's going to be about. If you can make it look delicious, just like with food, if the presentation of the food looks gorgeous, then that's a sense that you're like already, your mind is already saying this is delicious.
Yep.
And then it's just like you're like, hey, I'm kind of foo-foo here, drinking my yummy drink.
My yummy foo-foo drink. So, all right. Well, we're gonna wrap up a little bit early this week. I have to go. I have a game I got to see. All right. And I've got to drive to get it to it. So yeah. Anyway. But any shout outs this week or anything you want to tell anybody?
Oh my goodness. Well, shout out to my friend Tom from 3 years ago when he gave up drinking. So cheers to you. He's still going strong. He seems a lot happier and a lot more present. So I haven't seen him in a little bit, but seen him on Facebook and his posts. You know what? That makes me happy. So you know what? That's a good thing. So here's to National Mocktail Week. That goes out to you, Tom.
Yeah. So I just want to say, it was a good week this week. All right. I'm glad that you and I get to do a show. All right. We've been doing it for a little more than a year now. We've been doing it for over a year now.
Yep.
This is episode number 45. All right. We've made it to 45. We're 5 away from 50, ladies and gentlemen. All right. And we're still coming up with new ideas. That's what shocks me. Right?
I know that everybody's concerned about that. It's like, is there going to be enough to talk about? It's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll have enough, I guess. Anyway. But yeah, guys, we bring this show to you every week because it's something fun we like to do. All right. We just like to taste things live on air and let you guys experience it as well with us. All right. My name is Tim Gillette. All right. I do Simply Easy Marketing, and I help people with marketing, both online and offline, make it so simple and easy that your clients, your customers want to buy from you and buy from you faster. So, and I wouldn't be doing this every week if I didn't have the alcohol aficionado with me, my wonderful partner in crime.
I always have my props, so I always go prop.
Yeah.
There we go.
She keeps props. I don't. My props are my alcohol bottles.
That's like pom-poms. But I am Gladys Monroy Botwell, Insurance by Design in Oregon. I'm helping small business owners that have less than 50 employees with their employee benefits. If you want to attract and retain quality staff, you got to do the things that others aren't doing. And sometimes that means you provide benefits. And benefits, guess what? There's over 101 benefits that you can provide your staff to attract and retain. If you're in Oregon, Washington, California, guess what? I can help you. If you are outside of those states, guess what? I'll still answer your questions and then find you somebody good that will take care of you locally in your state. And you can find me at insurancedesignpros.com. Again, insurancedesignpros.com. Gladys Boutwell at your service.
Yep. Cindy here brought up a good thing. All right, guys, do us a favor. Subscribe and review us on Facebook, YouTube, all right, and as well as on Apple Podcasts. We're on there as well as on many other places around the web. So we need you to subscribe, all right? Tell your friends so that they can subscribe, all right? We would appreciate it very much. Other than that, guys, we will be back next week with another great episode. We'll see you guys in the meantime. Be safe out there.
Bye.